and she got what she deserved. She got primaried, and she got her butt booted out of there, and as far as I'm concerned, it was none too soon. Liz, you got exactly what you deserve. Hello to all my free-minded friends out there, J.R. Dukes. I got a great video. Guess what? She's back. Liz Cheney, our favorite Republican. Not, believe it or not, she has stuck her head up again, and this time she has some books she wants to go ahead and hawk. So she's got a salacious story she's going around and telling all the reporters and whatnot. So let's get right into it, and let's take a look at it now.
Call her a very concerned conservative. John Dickerson this morning is talking with Wyoming Republican and former Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
Given your experience, do you look at politics differently? Do you say, you know, we spend a lot of time demonizing the other side, which put all of our supporters in the mindset of, you know what, they're not just wrong, they're evil.
Yeah, absolutely. If everything that a political adversary does is met with, you know, an attack that, oh my God, this is, you know, the worst possible thing you can imagine, this is dire, then when you face something that really is dire, like we are facing today with respect to Donald Trump and his efforts to unravel the republic, people become numb to the truth because they feel like, well, we've heard that so many times before from politicians.
How do you sound the alarm when people have gotten used to the ringing? That's the challenge for former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who has had to update even her sense of alarm.
Folks, to give you some background, you have to remember that Liz Cheney, who is the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, she was the number 3 person as far as the Republican power pyramid is concerned. She was the top person on many committees, and she basically was just a very powerful number 3 Republican. However, she was voted out of office after going up against our beloved President Donald Trump. I'm just going to tell you to you straight. In my opinion, she's disgraced. She's narcissistic. She has a serious case of what I call TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, and she always thinks everything's about her. When you go through this interview with me, you're going to see her. I mean, it's just nuts. Everything's about her. She's going to tell you how bad Donald Trump is, how evil this man is, how we're going to lose everything, including our country and our lives, if he becomes president. Not that it wouldn't have happened the first time. It's only the second time that these type of things can happen. And she's on the mission to warn us. And by the way, she's also got a new book that she's hawking. So you be the judge as to how serious she is. Obviously, she's become a Democrat by the way that she's talking, but she is just so bitter that, rightly so, she was primaried because she would not support the Republican cause. Folks, when you are a public servant, when you're elected by your constituents there in Wyoming, and they say, we want you to go to Congress, we want you to be a Republican, and we want you to support our party, and the head of our party is and was at the time Donald Trump. You don't have the ability of saying, hey, I don't like him, therefore I'm just not going to support nothing. It does not work like that. She has to do the will of her voters. She's there to represent the voters, not to represent Liz Cheney and get her feelings hurt because things are not going the way she thinks things should be going. And of course, she allowed the Democrats to use her as a figurehead going after Donald Trump. They put her on these special BS committees, allegedly looking into the nonsense on January 6th. She allowed the Dems to use her as a puppet, as a former number 3 in the Republican Party, and she got what she deserved. She got primaried, and she got her butt booted out of there, and as far as I'm concerned, it was none too soon. Liz, you got exactly what you deserve. Friends, tell me, do you agree with me? Do you see it the way I see it? Did Liz get what she deserves? Should she have been booted out? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. I would definitely like to hear from you. And by the way, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, make sure you give me a comment, and do all the other stuff you're supposed to do. Remember, when you subscribe to my channel, it brings you 10 years of good luck. Don't believe me? Give it a try. Anyway, let's get back into the video right now.
To update even her sense of alarm, as Donald Trump's effort to overthrow the last election has not stopped him from becoming the GOP presidential favorite. as an election denier has become Speaker of the House.
I gotta say something. I have no choice. This election denier, this stuff is crazy. It has to be pointed out. I have to talk about it. I am so sick of hearing these liberals call everybody a label that they don't like. You're an election denier, which basically means you're stupid if you think that there was some malfeasance with the last election. If you dare to question what we tell you is reality, then you're going to be labeled as something nasty, an election denier. They do the same thing when it comes to the climate. You're a climate denier. You don't have a brain cell in your head if you can't figure this out for yourself. I'm sick of it. Even with the election itself, what do they call it? The big lie. If you think there was some kind of problem with the last election or any election, you're supporting the big lie. Who wants to support the big lie? You election denier, you climate denier, you stupid MAGA person like Joe Biden goes around always hammering MAGA. Well, Mr. President, I hate to break it to you, half, if not more, of the country voted for MAGA. They voted for former President Donald Trump to be reelected. So you have tens of millions of Americans that are supporting Donald Trump then and now. And when you label people like this, it is not going to build consensus. It is not going to bring people together where they can work together and achieve things together. So you hear Cheney in this video say, oh, we need to work together. We need to bring down, as our president would say, the rancor. We need to stop thinking bad things about the other side all the time. Well, guess what? It's the Democrats that's doing the vast majority of that. Every chance they get, they basically tell you that if you're a conservative, you're stupid, you don't understand anything, and you have to be eliminated because you're nothing. Well, we'll see.
And prominent Republicans have come to embrace election conspiracies as the route to political glory. You once used to say that nobody could challenge your conservative credentials. What if being a conservative today is defined by one thing, your support for Donald Trump?
Well, I know what conservative means, and I think that the most conservative of all conservative values is fidelity to the Constitution. So, there certainly are people today who are caught in this cult of personality, but that's the opposite of conservative.
This primary election is over.
After losing her 2022 Republican primary, Cheney traded the U.S. Capitol dome for the Thomas Jefferson-designed rotunda at the University of Virginia, where she has been lecturing on politics and writing a new book, Oath and Honor. Let me ask you about that oath. If a person is a member of Congress and they've sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, can they defend the Constitution and also endorse Donald Trump?
No.
Can you believe the gall of these people? These people are absolutely insane. She says at the beginning, she's like, oh, we need to understand one another. We need to be nice, essentially, to one another and look at their point of view. And then he asks, if you support Donald Trump, if you have questions about the last election, can you be faithful to the Constitution? No. Are you serious, Liz? Did you just say that? You cannot support Donald Trump and be faithful to the Constitution? What is wrong with you? These people have no shame. What in the world is going on?
So
It's inconsistent.
they're breaking with their oath by saying they would like him to be the next president.
In my view, fundamentally, there is a choice to be made. You can't both be for Donald Trump and for the Constitution. You have.
All right, there you go. She said it. This is the way the liberals, the Democrats think. If you support Donald Trump, you cannot be faithful to the Constitution. So in other words, if you're faithful to Donald Trump, you are essentially guilty of treason, conspiracy to commit treason, some kind of serious crime. These are very serious fighting words. This is just nuts.
To choose.
It's a lot of people who are choosing Donald Trump.
Yeah, it is.
In the aftermath of the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, Cheney was one of only 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach Donald Trump. Soon after, she joined the democratically led committee to investigate the attack.
Tonight, I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
Once the number 3 leader in the House Republican.
Yeah, well, Liz, there's one other thing that you need to be aware of. It's not about you, Liz. The world doesn't revolve around you. Your people, your constituents in Wyoming sent you to Congress to represent them, not to be a bully, not to tell conservatives who they should support or who they shouldn't support. You're not some genius that is so smart that you are the oracle of how things should go. And to go around now hawking a book and trying to scare the bejesus out of people, which is just silly. The words that you're saying make no sense. You mean the president that served 4 fantastic years? We had fantastic achievements under Donald J. Trump, and yet you're telling us if it was the case that he is elected president again, that somehow the end of the world is here? I'm sick of the liberals like you, Liz, telling us that everything's going to end, that it's the end of the world if Donald J. Trump becomes president again. I'm tired of hearing you and Joe Biden talk about how the climate is going to doom us all in, that it's over with if we don't take immediate action to reduce our carbon footprint. I'm so tired of hearing liberals like you trying to tell us how to live our lives, whether it's guns, whether it's our vehicles burning gas, or trying to insist that we all use batteries when we don't have the power to power the vehicles or to recharge the vehicles. We don't have the materials. We have to rely on China for those batteries and the material to make the batteries. It's just ridiculous. You think China cares about the climate? They're putting 2 to 3 coal burning plants online every week to support their population. Do you think they care? They are laughing at us, Liz. I'm laughing at you, Liz. The only problem is it's not funny. The nonsense that you're spreading around. You're confusing people, and you're definitely messing with the minds of our young adults. And now you are a teacher, a lecturer, a professor, whatever title they gave you at a university. You are the reason our young people are so confused and they have so many issues wrong, because you're there indoctrinating these people, Liz. You're there teaching them how bad Donald Trump is, how everything's going to come to an end if he's elected president. You're indoctrinating and you're lying, and you need to be ashamed of yourself. Okay? It's fine that you didn't represent your constituents and they kicked your butt out, which they should have done, but now I'm just assuming you're at the university there giving them a real good education, Liz. You have to be ashamed of yourself, Liz. It's not too late to change your ways, Liz. You can give me a call, drop me an email, whatever. I'd be happy to talk with you and get you set straight. Folks, tell me, do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you add if you could speak to Liz Cheney? And please keep it clean if you don't mind in the comments below. Folks, appreciate you joining me today. As always, I tell you to keep that mind free and never give up. Until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.